Welcome to Salute to the Ears, where my family and I discuss everything Disney, from parks, food, and rides to travel tips, movies, and more.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to Salute to the Ears, a family podcast all about Disney and all the best things about it. And today we get to talk about one of my very favorite things, shopping. Well, more specifically, shopping in preparation for a Disney World vacation and a Disney trip. With me today is my dashing husband, Jeremy, and he is super excited to talk about all the things that we typically shop for and plan for in preparing for our Disney vacations, which we are doing now.
If it has to do with going ahead and planning for a trip, I'm all for it. So if it's shopping, it's shopping.
Now, we are under the 90-day mark now for our trip, and this is typically when I really start hammering down on purchasing things, partly because I want to have time to get them, and shipping delays are still an issue right now everywhere. But I also always have kind of a running list of things that I might buy one or I might buy three things and need to send something back and exchange it or do something different. But we were talking about things that we need to get for our trip and what are our necessities? What are those things where we will tell every person who is trying to plan a trip, what are the things that we're you need to take this with you? Make sure you have this and prep for it. And things that we've learned on our previous trips. And man, this list gets big fast.
Right. But it gets big fast because we prefer to buy as much as we can here rather than at the parks, because the Disney trip itself is already expensive.
Yeah.
And it gets way more expensive if you're having to buy some of these items down in the parks.
Now, I'm going to preface this and give you a little caveat of I run cold. So I am almost always cold.
Right.
It can be literally today, it was almost 80 degrees here in Kansas City. And I was out at the park with my kids and my nieces and nephews in jeans and a light sweater.
Yeah, that's not me. Not me. I'm the opposite.
I run cold, whereas you could roll around in a tank top and shorts and when it's 65 and be totally fine.
Right. Don't know about tank top, but
okay. T-shirt.
T-shirt. Yeah. It's 65, I think, is kind of about that mark, especially when the sun goes down. And now, if there's any kind of a breeze, it might get a little chilly.
I'm just going to say that. I am the type of person who plans for the fact that I am going to be cold.
Right.
I am going to be cold when we are inside in the air conditioning, and I am going to be cold when there is no sun. You joke that I'm solar powered.
Right. No, you are completely solar powered. So, and even in the early summer months, if that sun goes down, you can still have some nights that are down in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're sitting there waiting for the fireworks to go off, it might get a little chilly. So we'll just say that.
Okay. We kind of have a running list of things, and I'm going to try to put some of those top big necessity items in the show notes. And I'm also going to put together some information for Instagram and Twitter as well, but that may be later this weekend. My number one thing, though, besides clothes for every day, obviously, underwear, socks, your toiletries, those basic things that you would take on any trip.
Right.
Right. You're planning for weather. So you got about 4 or 5 months out of the year where you need to really plan for cooler weather in Florida. And then, you've got somewhere in the 7 to 8 month range where you're planning for mostly warmer weather.
Right.
So pack accordingly based on your timeline of when you're going. When we go in December, we're packing jeans, T-shirts, but also sweatshirts, jackets. We have worn our heavy winter coats before.
Right.
During the winter, being in Florida, you got to plan, like, so this is the stuff that is not just weather specific, like, or not just like general
Right.
sunshine weather specific.
And I think you also need to, if you think you've packed enough socks, pack a couple more pair because chances are, especially if it's warmer out, so spring, summer, early fall, you're going to get wet.
Yeah.
At some point, it's going to rain during the day. Plan on wet socks.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of our items start with S. They're all the S's, okay? My number one thing, like socks, extra socks, multiple pairs of shoes. Now,
Right.
even if you're going for only like 4 days, you need to pack more than one pair of shoes.
Right. Absolutely. Because once again, one pair gets wet, you're going to need another pair to put on.
You're going to need another pair to put on, and we also highly recommend quick dry shoes. Some
Right.
of our favorite options are Crocs, Hey Dudes, Chacos, Tevas, however you say them.
Right.
The, like, you know, the
Right.
we call them the old man sandals. Stuff that even good flip flops, like Croc flip flops,
Right.
like stuff that has some support in it.
With those, I will say you need to be used to wearing them.
Yes.
Because you want that thing in between your toes, and if you're walking around all day, next thing you know, you got blisters in between
Yeah.
your toes. That's not going to be very comfortable.
Yeah. But plan for needing to wear more than one pair of shoes, because especially if you are going more than 3 or 4 days.
Right.
If you're going 5, 6, 7 days, by the time you hit day 5, I guarantee you, if you wear the exact same pair of tennis shoes every single day, you will have blisters no matter how broken
Right.
those shoes are.
Yep.
And even if you've stayed dry the entire time. We actually had one, the last time we took the kids, we had a morning where we went ahead and went to the parks, which were empty because it was pouring. It was pouring down rain. Now, we all had Crocs.
Right.
And so we just wore our Crocs and splashed around in the water because it didn't matter.
Yep,
We just
going
went
dry.
for Crocs and we got dry. And later on, I think some of us did put some socks on with them. But, you know, it's something like that where you've got some support, you've got closed-toed,
Right.
sort of. But that rain thing happens a lot.
A lot. During the summer months, it's daily. And with that, I think the other thing you need to get before you go down there is a poncho.
Yeah.
Ponchos down there are expensive, and when it starts to rain, everybody goes for them.
Yeah.
You might as well order them online through Amazon, go to Walmart, go to Target, go wherever. You can get ponchos much cheaper than what you'll be able to down there.
Mm-hmm.
And they fold up small, throw them in your bag, don't take up much room.
Yeah, and if you buy like even the cheap clear ones, the like, you know, they're like $2 or something like that, and they're just the cheap clear ones. Even if you don't ever open them and don't ever have to use them, you know, they can even be something where like you may only wear it to ride Splash Mountain
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to get your outfit wet, or you know, you may wrap up a kid's outfit that got soiled in
Right.
it to stick it in your bag,
Ugh,
you know,
don't
take it
forget
home.
about that thing.
Ponchos are essential. We usually take the ones that either can fold in on themselves, like into a pocket, like on
Right.
it, or we will go ahead and take a couple of the cheap clear ones as well to have as backups. The only thing I don't like about the colored ones or ones that are kind of, you know, a little heavier duty is that if you wear an outfit or, you know, a group t-shirt or something that you are wanting to show off at all, you can't see that as soon as you put
Right.
that poncho on. And so it kind of defeats we have some rather awful pictures, I think, of some of from that trip because we
Right.
all had on these like
Bright red ponchos.
yeah, bright red ponchos, and it was a little awkward.
Yeah.
But I would say quick dry shoes and good tennis shoes,
Right.
extra socks, a poncho, that sweatshirt or jacket, because I'm telling you, as soon as the sun goes down,
Yep.
it does feel colder, especially
right.
when
And
it's wet.
I think down there, like if you're used to cold weather,
Mm-hmm.
I think down there, like if it's 65, to me, that's like 55 here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that kind of, you're like, oh, it's still 65 down there. It's not going to be cold. It feels a little different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's like a 10-degree buffer.
You got humidity. You've got all kinds of differences
Yeah, I
in
don't
that.
know.
But
Yeah.
I get cold in the AC, especially during the
Right.
summer when you're dressed for the outside where it's hot, and then you walk into some place where
Right.
the AC is blasting, and suddenly I'm shivering and can't
Right.
stop. So I almost always take a sweatshirt or some kind of light sweater with me, or a jacket. Rent a locker if you need to. Keep
Right.
them stashed in a stroller. Bring one that's, you can either tie around your waist or fold up small enough to fit into a backpack.
Right. Because typically, like, other than our ponchos, like, you kind of want the ponchos on you.
Yeah.
Unless you're really paying attention, you're like, oh, it looks like it's going to rain. Let's run back to our locker. But we'll that's where, like, we bring extra shoes with us. That's where they're at. Extra socks are usually in a locker.
Yeah. We are past the point of having a stroller with us, which
Right.
makes a huge difference as far as what we carry, what we put in a locker, and what we decide to bring with us.
Right.
I will not go to a park, though, if there is any chance at all of rain.
Right.
I will not go to a park without a poncho.
Yep.
And not, like you said, 9 times out of 10, especially during certain months, it's going to rain at some point that day.
Right.
Even if
It
it's for
is.
10 minutes.
Yep.
It's going to rain. And so, be prepared for that. That being said, one of my other main things that I will always tell everyone to bring, because there are still people who think that Disney controls the weather and that you can't get sunburn at Disney World. Not true. Bring sunscreen.
Right.
Bring good sunscreen. Bring one that you like. I have an issue with several types of sunscreens where it really breaks me out in hives. Like, I cannot use them. And so I have to be careful about what kinds that I bring with me.
Mm-hmm.
You can also buy sunscreen at the parks.
Right. But once
It's
again,
expensive.
it gets more expensive. But it's there, and you may need to apply multiple times.
Multiple times, especially if you have gotten wet on, say, like Splash Mountain or, Kali River Rapids or something like that, where you've gotten soaked. Remember that sunscreen isn't going to last. The other thing is, if you are wearing sandals, and particularly if you live somewhere that you do not typically wear sandals, and your feet are a little unused to seeing the sun, you're going to need to remember to put sunscreen on the tops of your feet, the tops of, like, above your knees, on your thighs, if you're wearing shorts, and making sure you're really getting the back of your neck and your ears.
Right. Sunburn on top of your feet when you're going to be walking, especially if that's your first day, can make for a miserable time.
Now, something else that you brought up earlier that I was like, ooh, yes, absolutely, is sunglasses.
Yep. Gotta have sunglasses.
Now, I will also say with that, bring some cheap ones or cheaper ones. Don't bring unless, like, you're dead set on wearing your $200 Oakleys.
Right.
Bring some cheap sunglasses with you, because there is a good probability that you're going to set them down somewhere.
Right.
They're going to fall off your head.
Yeah, for a lot of the rides, you have to take them off.
Yeah.
So I've lost multiple pairs of sunglasses in one trip.
Yes.
So not bringing the expensive ones.
Yeah. We do not bring expensive ones with us. They're all either from, like, Walmart, Target.
Right. Something that hopefully still looks decent, but I'm not going to be thoroughly upset if you lose them, because you kind of need them. It's bright and sunny.
The other half of that is a hat.
Yep.
You typically wear a ball cap at the parks.
I do.
Jackson really likes bucket hats. Brooklyn and I will also rock a ball cap sometimes.
Right.
You will have to take them off for most
of the rides.
Especially any that are considered like a thrill ride.
Right. So typically what I'll do is take my sunglasses off, put them in my hat, and then there's like a pocket in front of you, or you just have to hang on to them both at the same time. But yeah, you do have to take it off. Just don't forget to grab it on your way out.
The other aspect of that is, like, some rides you think, well, I don't need to take it off. This is pretty tame. We had that happen with Jackson last time in Splash Mountain. He left his hat on. And typically, some people can just turn them backwards and it'll be okay, because it doesn't grab air from the ride, but he did not. I managed
Okay, you
to...
just want a brag moment here.
This is like my one brag moment, but we have no photographic evidence of this because it is the one ride from our trip that we do not have a PhotoPass photo
Right.
from. And I think it's because I blocked the camera when this happened. Brooklyn and I were sitting in the row behind you and Jackson on Splash Mountain. We go down the hill, off flies his hat. I instinctively, with my non-dominant hand, reach up and snag his hat out of midair and pulled it down. Now, in the process, I also slammed my hand into Brooklyn's wrist on the bar,
Right.
and we then had to go get ice for
Right.
her wrist. But I saved the hat.
And considering she was not thrilled about riding that to begin with, and
Yeah, I'm still not sure we're going to get her on it again. I
yeah,
don't know.
she says she will. This time, I hopefully don't have to toss her over my shoulder.
So, recapping, big things that you need to make sure you buy ahead of time, thinking about wanting to take with you: extra shoes, extra socks, including for those toddlers. I know they're going to be in the stroller a lot, but extra outfits. Sometimes we will, if we know it's going to be a really wet day, or we know there's a chance we're going to need to change clothes, we may bring an extra outfit and throw it in a locker, or
Right.
when we had a stroller, keep it in the stroller. Definitely extra outfits for littles.
Yeah, and with that, if you have littles that are still getting sick, spitting up bottles, that kind of stuff, you might want to bring an extra shirt for you because when they get spit up on you, then you're stuck.
And then you have to go to the Emporium and buy new clothes.
Right.
Which is not really a problem for me because I really like shopping at Disney, but my budget says otherwise. Here's the thing I like about prepping and planning some of these items ahead of time and not just being like, oh, well, I can buy that at the parks. You're going to save money.
Right.
You know what you have, and you can better plan for each day that you're going to be at the parks because you already have those items. And really, I think it just helps, like for me as somebody who has anxiety, it helps me feel a little more secure about, okay, I have the things that I have. This is what we're doing. This is our plan. And it just helps me prepare for it a little bit better. So my big things: poncho, sweatshirt or jacket, quick dry shoes, extra outfits, sunscreen,
Right.
sunglasses, hat if you like wearing one. Don't have to.
Don't have to.
Be cautious though. If you don't wear a hat and you traditionally have a part in your hair, men or women, if you have a solid part, or you're bald, or
Yeah. It's going to get red.
yeah, put some sunscreen there too. And we've said it, bring a backpack,
Right.
some sort of bag, some sort of backpack, something that's comfortable to keep on
Right.
for longer periods of time. You are going to have either souvenirs that you buy that you want to put in there, extra items, water bottles,
Just thought of some phone charger.
phone charger.
Yep. So,
Yeah, we always you can get the fuel rods and exchange them in the parks, but on really busy days, they're gone.
they're gone. Yep. Get one online from Amazon. They're fairly cheap now. And take it with you.
And get one that doesn't weigh a whole lot. I have a
Right.
really amazing one in my Halo, but it weighs a ton.
Right.
The nice thing is it can charge 2 devices at once,
You
but
can jumpstart the monorail.
you can jumpstart a car with it. It's fantastic. But because it has that kind of power, it's heavier. Get one that doesn't weigh very much, because those backpacks do start getting weighed down the more stuff that you are putting in them.
Right.
The other thing I would add in there, I think, I just thought of this as far as, I always keep things like extra hand sanitizer, wipes. Like
Right.
I always usually take a little thing of baby wipes, even though our kids are older, just because
Right.
stuff gets messy, sticky, anything like that. But take like a small towel or a wash rag.
Yeah.
Because if you go to get on like that ride, or maybe after it's rained and you want to sit on a bench or
Yeah.
a chair, take that, just that little hand towel or something in your bag, and you can wipe stuff down real quick and not have to sit on a wet seat.
Right. And I think the other thing when it comes to clothes that we have to kind of think about is not necessarily in the parks,
Yeah.
but if you have any dinner reservations at any
Oh, yeah.
of nice signature restaurants,
That's true.
specifically thinking of Grand Floridian because they got a couple,
Mm-hmm.
and you got California Grill over at Contemporary.
There's actually quite a few.
Right.
When we were talking about this earlier, we mentioned it. Let me look here. Okay, Disney Food Blog has a whole article. I'll link this in the show notes as well. Disney Food Blog has a whole article about dress codes, dining dress codes at Disney. For the most part, your dress codes at Disney, especially in the parks, is pretty casual.
Right.
You know, please don't wear anything offensive.
Yeah.
You know, the actual rule from Disney is proper attire, including shoes and shirts, must be worn at all times. The parks are a casual, family-oriented environment. Shorts, jeans, t-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts, sneakers, sandals, flip-flops. You're all good. And for the most part, in most restaurants, that's going to fly completely. Things you
Right.
can't wear in there, swimsuits,
Yeah.
you know, super,
Offensive. Anything offensive.
yeah. I mean, you cannot walk into Disney parks with something that says the full language of FU.
Right.
Like, it's not going to fly.
Right.
For that reason. But there are those signature or fine dining restaurants, mostly outside of the theme parks. There's a
Right.
couple exceptions to that, but most of them do have a dress code, and it's pretty lenient. It's
Mm-hmm.
pretty open. The big things are like no ripped jeans, no ripped clothing or cutoffs, no offensive language, and no tank tops.
Right.
That's like the big one is no tank tops. Sundresses that have thinner
Right.
straps are fine as long as they're not like
Right.
super revealing.
Right. And tank tops is really kind of being pushed towards the guys. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen multiple vlogs where guys are going up to California Grill and they get up there and they're wearing a tank top and they give them a shirt to wear.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you can't wear your hat.
Yeah, no hats. Which I would think that one that's like a fedora, like a really nice one,
Yeah.
that they would.
No hats.
But no hats
No
is
hats.
the. Too bad for paging Mr. Morrow.
He takes his off. And he's shocked every time that he's bald.
There are some exceptions to that. Again, I'm going to link this article from Disney Food Blog because it really is an expansive
Right.
rundown of which locations have a higher dress code. The biggest one, though, that I'm seeing is Victoria and Albert's.
Yeah. It's fancy. It's like fancy.
It's like wear a dinner jacket with dress pants
Right.
or a cocktail dress or business,
Right.
like true business, like dressy.
Right. Now, right now, it's not open,
Right.
but they did just announce this last week that it will be opening soon.
Yeah.
So
It's not
coming.
going away.
No.
No, there's a lot of people who still really want it
Yeah.
back. So that is definitely one where
Right.
you need to plan for that. Now, most people, if you have a nice dining reservation, you're probably not going straight from the park and being hot, sweaty, wet,
Right.
stuff all day and going straight to that restaurant. You could, with the exception of Victoria and Albert's for the most part. But
Right.
most of them, you could get away with a nice pair of like a dressier shorts, like a golf short,
Right.
khaki shorts, and a nicer, think like a button down
Yeah.
that's like a printed
Like a
button
Hawaiian
down.
shirt or, yeah, a polo
a nice
golf
polo golf shirt, something for the guys. Ladies, you can do like a, again, nice pair of nicer shorts,
Right.
cute top. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to go back to the resort and get dressed up to be able to go to some of these.
No, but you can if
But
you
you
want.
can, and there is a way to do that. That is why we had 4 Amazon packages on our porch
Oh,
this afternoon.
Yeah.
that is my favorite thing, and the thing that I am spending the most money on right now trying to get prepped. Jeremy keeps bringing
Right.
up all these practical things that we need to take with us, and I'm like, I need more outfits.
Right.
I love Disney bounding.
Yep. We've done it a little bit before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you explain what Disney bounding is.
Okay, I'm going to look up the official.
Ooh, official.
Well, this was an article from the Today Show. And Disney bounding, and the term Disney bounding came from a blogger. Her name is, I can't think of
Somewhere
her name.
in there.
Leslie K.
There you go.
I'm like, it's K. It's K something, but
Yeah.
K is a family name for me. Like, and so I think of it as like a first name, not a last name. So, Leslie K. And almost 10 years ago, she was planning for a trip. She was literally Disney bound. And she was sharing her outfit inspiration. So in the early days of Pinterest, there was this app called Polyvore, and you could put together all these different outfit inspirations, and people would create this whole kind of dream board of an outfit. And it's got like the white background, and you'd have the different outfit pieces laid out, from the shoes to the jewelry and the top and or the dress. And gave you like an inspiration, an idea. Well, she used that and created all of these outfits that she wanted to dress like her favorite character. So she describes Disney bounding as, it's a subtle way to dress as your favorite character without being in costume, while sporting your own personal style, whatever that may be. She also says that it's about using clothing items you find in your own closet or locally that you can base off of. I love this. I love seeing people dressed up as different, what we now call Disney bounding.
Right.
It's like a whole following of things. Lots of annual pass holders do it. You know, families can do it.
Right. And we're seeing it more and more whenever we go to the parks.
It's definitely become a bigger thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love it because I can take stuff that I'm either going to wear again,
Right.
Or that I already own,
Right.
and can turn into my favorite character. Now, I know that Leslie has said before that she didn't like come up with the idea of dressing like a character, you know, instead of like people have worn polka dots to kind of look like Minnie Mouse for years and years and years. She's not like the first one who ever came up with this idea, but the name stuck.
Right.
With her blog name became a verb.
Right. And I think this is a good way to dress Disney in the parks if you don't necessarily want to go and buy like Disney t-shirts that you're not necessarily going to wear again.
Right.
Outside the parks.
Right. The only time we've really worn our Disney like shirts that we've had custom made for trips and things like that is to bed, like as pajamas.
I mean,
and
I wear some of my Disney shirts to work.
But
whatever.
not the
Not like
ones
the
that
custom ones.
not the
Yeah,
custom
right.
ones. I mean, we do wear Disney based clothing, character t-shirts, and you know, like one of my favorite ones of yours is your Hakuna Matata one. Like we wear that, but it's not necessarily like you're just sharing like, hey, this is something I love, the same way that you wear a Chiefs shirt or, you know, a different sport shirt or like something, versus actually dressing in a way that is like a character that you love. I need to say this. There is no, you're not allowed to fully dress like a character. Like head to toe, you are decked out in the whole costume, the big poofy dress, you know, for the princess, all the things, unless you are under the age of 13.
Right.
Do not even try it. You will not be let in.
You won't get past security.
The only time that adults really get to go full out in those kinds of costumes is for the Halloween parties.
Right.
There are specific times when Disney allows it in those instances. But again, you cannot be so elaborate that you could be mistaken for a cast member character. Like,
Nope, there are still limitations to that.
Again, though, if you are basically 10 and under. Like if you
Right.
are still look like a kid,
Right.
you're going to be able to do that full out if you
Yep.
want to. We see princesses all the time. I love being at the park and addressing them as princess.
Right.
You know, and you know, telling them how beautiful they look and
Right.
you know, depending on their character, maybe an attribute about that princess, you know, how brave you are, how, you know, smart you are, you know, like
Yep.
whatever that may be. Like, I love being able to lift them up in that. So
Right.
be advised, Disney bounding is not costuming.
Right. So, what are some good ideas for Disney bounding?
Of course, the princesses. It's easy. You can
Okay.
usually get away with a colored dress that matches and some accessories. Works great. You came up with one earlier that I really, really liked when we were talking about this.
Which one was that? The Monsters Inc.?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fairly easy one. Especially if you're going to Magic Kingdom, because you got Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor right there.
Yeah.
So, especially if it's a parent and like a single kid,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be real easy to do.
Especially a little girl.
Right. One dresses in green, the other one blues and purples,
Mm-hmm.
and then dress the little girl up like Boo.
Mm-hmm. You know, do kind of the pinks or the purples, like the
Right.
light purple, for her. And I even commented on somebody in the WDW Radio Clubhouse got their pictures back from Run Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And every single photo, she's wearing green, first of
Right.
all, like just not as Mike Wazowski, but she was wearing green. Almost every photo that she got back, her face is covered by somebody else, by their hand, by their body, like the way that it is. I was like, it's a Mike Wazowski moment. Like, and she didn't even mean for it to be, but you can take whatever your favorite character is. So we've talked about doing Up,
Right.
characters from Up for us as a couple, which is hard because we're not, I feel like the ones that I keep looking at, when they're older.
Right. We need like
I'm like,
the Carl and
I
Ellie
need
that's in
the-
front of us.
I need the Carl and Ellie that's younger, but
Right.
you know, the thing about that is most people aren't going to get it.
Right.
And we're going when it's hot,
Right.
which means you are not wearing
I'm
a dress
not
shirt
wearing-
and
yeah.
sport coat in the
And,
park.
and sweater vest and no, I'm not going through all that.
It's not happening. I like really dressing up like Mickey, Minnie, like just you can go basic colors, you know, and just
Right.
color block. That's super easy. Star Wars is a super easy one.
Mm-hmm.
As well. You know, you can really get away with that pretty easily. We've also done as a family, we've done Peter Pan.
Right.
Peter Pan's an easy one because you can typically get like a shirt like Smee's, so like the blue and white stripe. Somebody wears green, Hook's real easy. Red and black. Tinkerbell's really easy. Peter Pan's really easy. You just kind
Right.
of color block that and can dress that up or down. I actually did a reel the other day that like I just had on a green shirt and my gold earrings, and I was like, that's my Tink
Right.
Disney bound for today. And my Pirates one was a real loose, flowy maroon shirt, like, and some good pirate jewelry, you
Right.
know, like in a belt. You can take it as far as you want, as you know,
As long as you're not mistaken
long
as
as you're-
cast member.
going and mistaken as a cast member. But I mean, as far as like stuff that you just own, stuff
Right.
that you could wear to just go out anywhere. Like
Right.
that's the point of Disney bounding. It's not costuming. It's not cosplay.
Right.
It's you could go out and just go do anything in this outfit, and it is perfectly acceptable as
Right. It
a
is
common.
right. It just
outfit.
happens when you're at Disney.
It fits who that character is. So kind
Right.
of think like, what would your modern take be on that character
Mm-hmm.
going just out to do daily life?
Right.
That's a great way to think about it. Like, what would a quote unquote human Mickey Mouse
Right.
look like, right? Like,
Mhm.
he's probably going to wear a black shirt,
Right.
right? He's probably going to wear
Yep. Some
red shorts
Yep.
or red pants, right?
Yep.
He's probably going to wear yellow shoes.
Mhm.
Like,
Pull out the yellow Crocs.
yep. Like, you can, right there, there's your Mickey.
Right.
You know, like that's thinking of it in terms of like, this is what I would just wear out, but could be
Right.
like a modern twist or a human twist on that character
Right.
and what they would wear for everyday life
Yep.
is a great way to Disney bound. I prefer dressing in the parks as like, I don't like just the t-shirt and athletic shorts type.
Right.
There are times when I meet with cast members or I go to do things and I see those pictures. And for me personally, I feel kind of frumpy.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same magic level for me. Again, though, my kids are bigger.
Right.
When the kids were little, it was whatever was comfortable.
Well, yep. And I still think you still want to be comfortable.
Yes.
It's whether your
You won't
kids
see
are
me in
older
heels.
or if it's just like the two of us going, still be comfortable.
I am always blown away by the women who wear heels at Disney World.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do
I
it.
don't know how they do it either.
I assume that
Don't
they're
know.
only going to be there for a short amount of time because...
How do you think Captain Hook does it? He does it all the time.
Yeah, but those are like boots.
Yeah, kind of.
That's different than like...
Right.
I see women in like heeled, sandaled,
Heels,
like...
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't know
Right.
how you do that. I'm just still trying to figure out how to make my leopard print tennis shoes work with all of my outfits right now.
Well, I guess we'll have to figure it out. Or
Buy new
or
shoes.
shopping.
Time to go shopping. I hope this helps you as you're trying to plan your Disney trip and thinking through some of those major necessity things that you need to get and maybe thinking through, hey, here are the things that I would want to plan for and take with me and shop for before my trip.
Right. And I think we would love to hear your ideas.
Yes.
Please, we're going to share stuff on this on Twitter and Instagram. So if you're not following us, please follow us. Tell your friends. Help us grow. But share your ideas of what you like to take to the parks.
Yeah. And why?
Why?
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes people will say, I really like this item, like, or I always take this with me. And I'm like, okay, but why? Like,
Right.
that's an odd one. Why do you always take that?
Right.
Like, so
Yeah.
tell us what you take, why, and
Any good Disney bounding ideas?
yes. I need
So-
some new ideas. I've got one in the works, but my dress isn't going to be here for a couple of weeks still.
Oh.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited. If I can pull this one off, I'm going to be excited if I can pull this one off, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know.
Okay. So with that, please go out and find your joy.
And have a magical week.